The following scenes contain content involving religion. If you are offended by anything that is said in this video, grow the f*** up! According to Christian belief, heaven and hell, to which people are nice. Shit. According to Christian belief, heaven and hell are the two destinations after death to which people are assigned based on the decisions that they made while they were still alive.
Why don't you go talk to him?
Well, I don't know. There's a game on. Shame on you. You march right over there and cheer your old friend up. Don't listen to that sissy. Grab a beer and watch the game. Yeah, that sounds good.
However, nobody knows what it looks like until we get there. The media, however, has engraved an image of heaven and hell based on TV shows and movies. But is that actually what they look like?
I done made it here myself. Okay, y'all been that guy, but you only now beginning to see. Shout out to my bros that been with me since elementary. The same bitch that gave me the finger, try to dab me up with the same hand. Ain't that some shit? What's the game plan? Switching up the team, it's a common theme. When you're doing better, they coming after your cheddar. Always protect.
So let's take a look at what everybody most likely pictures heaven to look like. Yeah, so most people probably thought of something like this when picturing heaven.
You're correct, my brother.
After doing a little bit of research, I found that the Bible doesn't really go into depth when it's talking about heaven. The descriptions are very thin, but it's always described as a grand paradise. So let's start off on the small details. First off, I can say that everybody's probably naked.
Yeah, boy.
As some of you may know, when Adam and Eve were created, they were naked until they ate the forbidden fruit. So, yeah, naked people.
Nice.
Also, I feel like there are angels flying all around heaven. And I'm not talking about those angels, I'm talking about the biblically accurate angels. Now let's talk about God. When picturing God, you probably thought of something like this. But according to the Bible, God looks a little bit more like this. His appearance is so bright, it's said to be blinding. Alright, now let's talk about the appearance of yourself when you get to heaven. At first I was like, oh yeah, you know, you just be like the same age. At first I was like, oh yeah, you know, you just look like the same age that you were when you died. But then thinking about that, I was like, can you imagine in heaven, you just see like a group of old people mixed with like a bunch of young people for the young people who die? But after doing some research, I found that most likely we will be given new bodies that somewhat resemble Jesus.
However, I also read that we'll still be able to recognize each other once we get to heaven, despite having different appearances from when we were alive.
Redo that whole shit. However, I also read that we will still be able to recognize each other when we all get to heaven. We would still be able to recognize each other once we all get to heaven, despite having different appearances from when we were alive. Alright, now let's get to the good stuff. What do I think heaven looks like? There are a few images of heaven that I get in my head, and it's described as the highest place, so it wouldn't be surprising if it was in the clouds like everybody thinks it is. So that would be a very possible answer. I picture a giant kingdom in the clouds as well as a giant city. Everyone is either naked or dressed in white cloaks or robes. And I also feel like we'll have the ability to fly. Emotions, we wouldn't be able to feel pain or fear or sadness because it wouldn't exist in heaven. Since I was younger, I always thought, shit! Slow it down. Since I was younger, I always thought that once we actually got to heaven, we wouldn't even be able to feel anything other than positive emotions. Like fear and sadness and anger, all those emotions wouldn't even exist in heaven. I picture that I'm surrounded by my friends, loved ones, and maybe even people from the past. I picture that we spend most of our time doing things that we love, like playing games, or watching the latest Casio video on HeavenTube. Speaking of YouTube, remember to subscribe. You know, it really means a lot to me when you subscribe, because, you know, I just put so much effort into these videos. Because ever since my goldfish died, I wonder if we'll even have technology in heaven. Let me know what you think in the comments. If we did have technology, it probably wouldn't be Apple. Get it? So that pretty much wraps up my first image of heaven. My second image of heaven is a tropical island. Although this one is a lot less likely, being that heaven is supposed to be the highest place and supposed to be beyond earth. It's kind of hard not to think like this when heaven is described as a My last image of heaven, which I know is very unlikely, but it's still really cool, is that heaven is whatever you want it to be. Kind of like an eternal dream that you can control, like a lucid dream. I'm probably going to make a separate video describing what that world would look like if I could create my own ideal world, so stay tuned for that one. So now let's talk about hell and how I picture it. When picturing hell, I imagine that it's underneath the earth. I imagine that the whole place is engulfed in flames, almost as hot as my outro song Lonely Road.
Look, I can't help but feel bitter when I see you on my phone. I'm just being real with you. And every time I see your face, I reminisce about all of the time that I spent with you.
I might have to release the full version. I also imagine many flying demons just flying around in the sky. Can you stop The picture I get when imagining hell is pretty similar to what the Nether looks like from Minecraft. I picture fire, lava, and a giant castle where the devil would stay with his devil dogs.
Hey, you guys want to go to IHOP, get some breakfast or something?
Oh, God, I don't know, Bighorn guy. It's like 3 a.m.
Ah, that sucks, man. I'm wide awake. Hey, Quagmire, you want to... Oh, my God, I'm sorry, man. Are you okay? No! I didn't see him.
When I was younger, the way that my dad explained hell to me was that everybody was always burning, they had maggots eating their skin and shit. It's kind of scary. I can also imagine everyone just really close and tight together, locked behind bars. Another thing that crosses my mind when picturing hell is that the devil finds out what your biggest fears are, and then he tortures you with those. Yeah, there's really nothing else to be said about hell. It sounds like a pretty shitty place, so I wouldn't recommend going there. Helpful advice, don't be a shitty person so that you don't have to go there. So yeah, that wraps up my images of heaven and hell. How do you describe heaven and hell? Let me know down in the comment section below. Make sure you like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.
I'm walking down a lonely road, only me, myself, and my homies. Yeah, we bought it so low, but I never stoop so low. It's a chase after you when you turn your back on me. I'ma keep it 100, I never needed you. Maybe that's just my apathy speaking. Maybe my ego was leaking, we drifted apart naturally.